Okay, welcome today for this practice day 1 for the Grand Prix 2017 in France in Buno. I'm with Angel Casado from Spain with my
hello Benji.
He's there. He's my support for the 3D view and everything from the tracking. So he's very useful, and I want to say thank you to be there. Thank you.
You are more than welcome, and also it is a pleasure.
Thank you. So welcome in Buno. So you have a general view from the race of today, and on the center of the screen is Buno, and in the north part you can see Angel with the mouse. It's a big Paris city. So Buno is basically south of Paris for 60 kilometers direct. You can come with train, so it's really useful for everybody. And the task of today, the race, is basically starting from Buno and it's going towards west. You can see a long leg west to the point is 282 Vauves. And in fact, it's a bit south of the big city of Chartres, who is well known in the world for this big cathedral. It's really, really nice to visit Chartres. And then the second turn point is going east, so a really long leg around 100 kilometers or close to this. It's going to Pont-sur-Yonne airfield. It's a gliding field like Buno, and it's a nice place. And then they're going back westward, and they are going vertical, basically the vertical airfield of Buno. And there is just a small report to Milly-la-Forêt. It's a small city on the north of the airfield. And then back to east of Buno for a final leg to the airfield of Buno. So as you can see, we are a closer now view from just before the start, 1 minute before the start. It was 14:38 this afternoon. And it's the first practice day. So the pilots, they wanted to make some training, and also for us, it's training. So you can see 2 goggles. So 3 pilots on the west, so on the left of the screen, and 2 pilots on the right of the screen. And you have several rules for start in the Grand Prix, and they have to fly and to circle left. So you can see on the screen that they are circling left. So there will be no penalties for that today. It's a practice day, so if there are penalties, not a big deal for them. If we can see the time is, you can see the time on the top of the screen. You have a start time and it's countdown. So we are just 20 seconds before start time. And now I just call them from the radio. Okay, you will have now 10 seconds to start, and you can see that all the pilots, they are heading on the left of the screen. So they are heading west to a big green thing, and this big green thing is the start line. So now the start line is open. You can see on the top of the screen, start gate is open. And they were a bit late, but it doesn't matter. They are all together, and they want to start all together. So this is a big thing of a start. And they make it really smooth, I have to admit. I was on the ground watching for them, and they made a really nice start. It wasn't a perfect start for sure, because they are a bit late, but it was really smooth. So for the first practice day, I have to thank pilots, because yeah, they made a good start. Interesting thing, you can see also on the bottom of the screen on the left, you have Aude Grangeret. She's the current world champion in standard class. And you can see the altitude. It's the first information on the left part of this part of the screen. And you can see altitude is just below 1,000 meters. In fact, I had to make a limit for the start altitude, and it was 1,028 meters, and they made it quite well, I think. You also have a ground speed. You can see 109 km/h. Vario, it's a typical thing in gliding sport. Vario is just a vertical speed. And we talk about vertical speed in meters per second. And then there is information about the distance they have already flown. So she has made 0.8, and it's counting. So it's normal because she just made the start. And distance left, distance to be made now. So it's counting down, and average speed from the start. And also, last information is the next turn point is with a distance is 58.5 kilometers. So a lot of information, and we will talk about this every day and every day. So that's all for now. This was the start, and it was pretty smooth. And we will focus on the first turn points now. So Angel will help me to go to the first turn point. So you will see some weird things perhaps on the screen, but don't worry, we just accelerate. It's better. And we are sticking to Haute Grangerie. She's in TIF, Tango India Fox. It's the call sign of a glider. And she has not made the first turn point. You will see that she will not make also the second turn point, but she's on practice day, and she wanted to make a smooth start, and she did it. So we will focus perhaps on another glider, another pilot. Go a bit further. Yeah, this is still Haute Grangerie, and let's go to Christophe Abadi. Yeah, Christophe. If you can put below. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now you can see clearly Christophe on the left part of the screen on the bottom. Christophe is well known in Grand Prix because he has made now several Grand Prix, and he has made some medals also with good results in international Grand Prix. He's one of the top pilots here. We were discussing with Angel a few minutes ago about the altitude. What do you can see the altitude of Christophe is 720.
It's scary for me.
Yeah.
I'd like to fly more than 2,000 meters above the ground, and here is like how much? 500, 600 meters above the ground.
Yeah, normally it's above 1,000 meters. But when it's not a good day, and today is not such a good day, they are flying low. Angel, where do you come from, Angel?
I am coming from Madrid. My home base is Lillo, where we used to have really good, strong conditions, cloud bases of more than 3,000 meters. So for me, this flying here will be very, very scary.
And even the ground, the altitude of the ground in Lillo,
is 680.
680. So they are basically flying at the same altitude as your ground at home. Yeah. So yeah, it's just crazy. But yeah, today we'll talk about the weather. Today it's a bit so. Lot of wind in the air. When we watch outside, we have high clouds. So basically, if you put all together, it's a technical day.
Yeah, it's about 20 knots west wind, right? So it's going to be very, very easy. Going from the second turning point to the third turning point, but coming back is going to be a fight. Yeah,
this is one of the points, a technical point we have in sailing and sailplane sport. The wind. A lot of people are asking this question: do you need some wind? No, we don't need wind to fly. We need vertical lifts, so like thermal bubbles to make some altitude. But then the wind, the actual wind you have on the ground, with pushing you when you do cycling, and you understand when you do cycling what means backwind and what means nose wind. You have a lot more of effort to make when it's nose wind, and it's quite the same for the sailplanes. The pilots, backwind, it's much more easier. They can reach with much faster the turn points. But nose wind, they are against the wind, and it can be really, really long day.
So I accelerated the time machine, and now we are reaching the third turning point. So Tour Lima is reaching the third turning point, and let's see where are the other people. So Zulu Alpha is behind, and Tango India Foxtrot is a little more behind.
Yeah, in fact, Chulima and Zulu Alpha, we believe they were quite together.
For a little while, yeah. For a little while, they were flying together.
But approaching the eastern part of the task, of the race, there was a gap. And about Tango India Fox, so Haute Grangerie, she has not made the first turn point, and she has not made also the second turn point. So she was a bit like winning situation for her, but she's not making the race. So it's a different race for her.
So now we have a Tulima approaching the turning point. It's 1 kilometer to the turning point, as you can see it right there.
And it's quite high, 1,080 meters. For today, it was quite high. But it's part of a tactic when you are turning a point like this, backwind and then front wind after the turning point. So he's turning the point.
As soon as touch it, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you can see on the system that is telling the next turning point is 002 Buno, 10, and it's 61 kilometers. The main challenge that we'll have Christoph right now is that he will be fighting the wind, right?
Exactly.
Against the wind, flying against the wind. So if the little bit that is advancing, also wind is moving him back. But those are very, very good pilots. They will make it absolutely no problem.
And for Christoph, it's home here. He's from Brno. He's from Brno Airfield, so he knows the place. So it's an advantage, but sometimes it's not such an advantage to be at home. So we will see in the following
because
days.
You have more pressure, and also this is a very tactical and a sport. So
and you can have also some overconfidence because you feel too much at home. So you have to be careful with that. And you can notice the ground speed on Christoph Abadi pictures, a bit right of the pictures. You have ground speed, and it's 140 kilometers per hour. And just before the turning point, it was 160 kilometers per hour. This is ground speed. It's not the actual speed of a glider, but it's the speed reducing by the wind in the air or pushed by the wind in the air when you're backwind. So we have the exact effect of the wind. And the ground speed of Christoph is much less than when he was going from west to east.
Well, what is this area? This is the typical scenery of the southern part of Paris, correct?
Yes.
Agricultural fields, little towns.
Paris, in France, is central France, Paris, a bit north of the center of France, but we call it central France because it's a big basin, a sedimentary basin. So it's really flat land, as you can see on the scenery, it's super flat. And we don't have some small ridges, it is really, really small, but we have some rivers, and we have also some area with big fields and some area with big forests. So this makes the difference. They will have all day long area with big fields and areas with big forest, and some big cities and some big rivers. It's really nice to fly here. It's beautiful, and it's quite easy to land if you have to land in the field because the fields are big.
Now we see that the Zulu Alpha is reaching the second turning point.
Yeah, perhaps you can click on Alain Mazalera, Zulu Alpha. So Alain is also from Brno. He's at home also, and Alain is really well known in France and I think all around the world for the gliding community, because he's one of the first pilots who has made 1,000 kilometers flights in just one day in plain area, and especially in France. In France, we have good conditions for flying, but not such good as in Spain. And so if you want to make 1,000 kilometers, you have to have a really long day. And when I say day, it's day with lifts, so thermal activity, to be able to gain altitude and to glide. So you have to start at 9:30 in the morning, basically, and you have to finish at 9 o'clock in the evening. So he's really, really good pilot for that. But competition is different. So we'll see if he can do some good results. And he has made some Grand Prix before, and he made some good results.
Now we are almost at a real time. Okay, so you can see that Tulima has decided to go way south. What do you think that is the reason, Benji?
Okay, yeah. This morning on the forecast for the weather forecast, the problem was about wind, as I told you, but also we had some problem with sometimes some spreadings. But it's not the case. We can see on outside, but there are no spreadings. What I call spreadings is basically when you have too much cumulus and too much activity with clouds, and it blocks the sun activity, and you don't have any more energy.
But looks that is against the common sense that you are going way out of your track. The track is the one that has to go on top, and is going way south.
A bit for vertical, just to illustrate. Yeah, okay. So perhaps we have there are two facts. Perhaps the first is perhaps you have some high clouds. We call this altocumulus or cirrus. This is high clouds, and they are not useful for us because they are blocking also the sun activity. So perhaps a 2 Lima, so Mr. Abadi is avoiding the high clouds, or there are some small cumulus. I think there are more cumulus on the south part of the task. And Alain Mazadora, perhaps he wants to go straight in the blue. So you don't see the cumulus, but it's okay because you still have some thermal activity. And Christophe Abadi wants to stick to the cumulus. It's much more easier to find thermals with cumulus. So it's two different tactics. There are still a big difference between the two competitors. It's the altitude. When you check the altitude of Christophe, it's more than 1,000. And Alain is less than 700, so it's much less energy. This means 4-5 minutes gap, in fact, between the two pilots. So Christophe is still in the lead, but he's with a different route and quite far away.
What about Kai?
Kai Lindenberg from Germany is well known in Grand Prix. Also, Kai made a lot of Grand Prix qualifying and also a lot of final. And I don't know, we have not checked if Kay has made all the turn points for now, but I think he's going back and on the morning of the briefing, I just asked them, okay, if you don't do the big task, at least do the small task at the end. You can see the small triangle with the red things. This is a small task for the finish, and it's fun because it's really close to the airfield. So we'll see if Kai has made the big task, but they are going back. And Kai, if he has made the turn points, he's quite.
The system say that's not, but we really have to check it with the recorder.
But it's the first. No, it's the second day Kai is flying here. Yesterday he flew also. So it's like exploration, for him, and to understand how is it from the ground, and also how is it in the air mass, and how it works basically. He's from Germany. I don't know where. We will interview Kai just for him to explain to us where he's coming from and what is the difference between his home and Buno home. Okay, we are back with Alain and Christophe, two local people. Alain is quite low, and perhaps he's coming back to the airfield direct and not making the last turn points. We had some technical problems for now, and one is the turn points. All the pilots, they have a file of turn points, and they put it in their computer, and they use it to go and to fly around the turn points. And for Alain, we have some problems. So perhaps he doesn't have all the small reports points around the airfield, and he's coming back to the airfield. But no worry, he's okay, and he will come back to the airfield really soon, I think. He's high enough, so no problem.
Look at the effect of the wind. To Lima is climbing, okay, but this is going east instead of west, and it's the effect of the wind just pushing him to the east.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Can you focus on Christophe with a ribbon, to have this effect? So Christophe, yeah. We will illustrate what he's explaining. Okay. So perhaps you can make it a bit more.
Yeah, let me put the opacity.
Opacity, yeah, exactly. And the length, if you can, yeah. The width and length. Oh, it's maximum, okay. And if you can put it a bit more vertical. Yeah, as you can see on the screen, it's 2 Lima. So it's Christophe Apadi, and the ribbon behind the glider of 2 Lima is you can watch the effect of the wind. It's the trace of 2 Lima.
But
made.
Also for Zulu Alpha and Lima Yankee.
You can go to them if you want. Yeah, we'll go to. It's easy to illustrate when they circle. Okay, so this is Zulu Alpha. It's Mr. Alain Mazalera. He has found what we call a thermal. The thermal is just a big bubble of air with energy for us. So it's warm air, basically. And it's warmer than the air around. And so with this warm air, you climb, you gain energy, you gain altitude. But on the screen, you can see that gaining altitude, Alain is also going east. He's drifting. He's circling, but the wind is pushing him back in the wrong direction because he wants to go on the left part of the screen, but the wind is pushing him on the right part of the screen.
But it's similar for Lima Yankee.
Yeah, you can see on the top of the screen, Mr. Kai Lindenberg, Lima Yankee from Germany. He finished climbing and he's going gliding now towards the left of the screen, toward west, basically. Yes, you can see on the ribbon also that he was drifting. So it's always a problem with winds about the fact that you win some energy, altitude, but the wind is pushing you sometimes in the wrong direction. So you are losing also some energy at the same time. So there is a balance you have to do. But normally the computer in the glider, it tells you if the balance is positive or negative. So you know if you have to keep thermal or if you have to go glide. If you are high enough, you can glide. If you're low, you don't have any solution, so you have to climb. Okay, perhaps we'll stick with Lima Yankee, Mr. Kai Lindenberg, because I think he's going to control points. And the next one is Bruno 10. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the red thing on the left part of your screen, and we can see that Kai is 1,000 meters, a bit higher than 1,000 meters, and he's going to glide, perhaps direct to these turn points. Then he will have to make the turn points on the top of the screen. It's turn point 5, report me, and then the 6th turn point is Vaudouet report. He's just close to Vaudouet report now, and he's heading west to Pinot 10.
But still, the speed is pretty good, 156. Okay, so
yeah,
and he's managing to keep the altitude at good levels.
Yeah, for now we don't know. Perhaps we will have some information if he's higher than if he has enough energy to finish the task. On the right of the screen, Henrel is managing to. Okay, no,
still okay. Needs to.
This is really interesting. This it's about total energy of a glider, of a sailplane. So total energy for Kai Lindenberg. So we have some problems now.
Yeah, because he didn't reach the turning point. Okay. But you can see it for Christophe and Alain that still they need to climb like 300 meters more or less.
Exactly. So for sailplane pilots, it's easy to understand. But for everybody, if you are following us, we transform altitude in distance with a sailplane, and so we need altitude to make some distance. And for Alain Mazalera and Christophe Abadi, they still have to make around 25-30 kilometers to finish the race. And this means they need their actual altitude plus around 200 or 300 meters.
So they are at 9 kilometers and 15 kilometers
from the control point, the next turn point.
The 002 Bruno time.
Yeah. The small task, the small triangle you can see, you can imagine the triangle on the screen with a red circle as top of the triangle. This is what I call the small finish task, and it's 20 kilometers. So they know that when they are at Buno 10, so Lima Yankee is close to Buno 10, then they have a bit less than 20 kilometers to do, and this means 700 meters of energy, of altitude. So if Lima Yankee is a bit higher than 700 meters, normally it's quite okay. It's close to not enough,
Yeah,
but it's quite okay. So we will see. We will see.
if he catch another thermal or so,
it would be super great if he
Yeah.
has another thermal, but he can try to do so also.
you can see Tulima in the bottom now, and Zulu Alpha a little
Climbing,
bit far.
yeah, still climbing,
still
yeah.
climbing.
They are looking. I don't know what you think about the Sailplane pilots, but I call them energy searcher. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Trying to extract as much more energy from the atmosphere as possible.
Yeah.
And you can see that now Alain has a very good altitude, 1,200 meters.
And Christophe is becoming low at the end, yeah. And he's still quite soft of the finish and the small task, the small triangle I made for them. I don't know if they will make a proper race at the end because it's practice. So perhaps Christophe is just enjoying the day and that's all. He made the big task. It was the main task for him at the end for today. But then he will make a
But
finish.
we can see Lima Yankee that is
He's pushing.
He's pushing for the small task.
Can you go a bit more vertical on the small triangle? Okay. Yes, this is really straightforward for you. Now you see Lima Yankee on the top. He made the western, so the turn point on the left of the screen, and now he's going to a top, and then he will go to the red thing on the right, and then to a finish. And the finish is really close to the start line, the big green start line you can see on the screen on the left part, close to a turn point. So he's making the triangle, and it's still quite high at the end. He has not lost a lot of energy doing the first turn point. And
pretty good speed, okay, so...
Yeah. The wind is pushing him a bit now,
Yeah.
because the wind is coming from the left of the screen. And I think he's quite confident, because he's okay. We will see. Perhaps you have to know that we use computers in the gliders.
And Tulima decided that he needs more altitude, found a thermal, and is going to be squeezing as much as he can.
Yeah, and actually today it's just practice day, as I said before, and they don't want to take any risk. So they want to be home tonight, and some of the pilots have to do some technical check. Also, we have to check that the glider is in good shape, and we have some rules to follow. So, okay, practice day, no risk. But it's still a race, and they want to
still
win.
It's a race, and you have this proudness of being the winner. And
So
even if it's in a practice day, no points, nothing, but you feel much better if you are there.
Interesting. You can see Lima Yankee. I think he's hesitating. Does he go to the last control points, or does he go back? You can see now, but perhaps it was on purpose. It was okay. Perhaps I will do it, or perhaps I will not do it.
No, now looks that he's heading again.
But he's hesitating because he's quite low for 460 meters. So it's just 310 meters above the ground. So it's really low, and he still has 10 kilometers to make, a bit less perhaps, but 10 kilometers, I think.
No, those numbers, because I didn't make it.
I didn't make the turn points before. He's trying.
He's confident he's going to be finding something. Right?
He's managing to gain some altitude. You can see on the right of the screen that he's pulling. We could call that pulling because you pull on the stick, basically in the cockpit, and you gain some altitude. So he was 460. Now he's 400. He's more than 500 now. So he's pulling, gaining some energy and altitude, because there are. The people who never flew a Sailplane, you don't imagine how much energy you have in the air. So sometimes it's difficult to find the energy, but you have a lot of energy around.
And this is part of the beauty of the sport. It's totally greenish. We only take the energy that is on the atmosphere.
Yes. Let's focus a bit more, because Lima Yankee, I think, is really close to going back home. Mr. Kai Lindenberg from Germany. Nice guy, really nice guy. So we will just put a small part of the wing in the last turn points and heading back to the finish line. Yes, he's low. He's quite low, but normally there is 6 kilometers to make from this point. So it will be okay from my point of view.
Okay,
it will not be super easy, but it will be okay. He's flying a Schleicher sailplane. The type is W27 for people who are
but
gliding.
That is now he's seeing from his glider the field. Okay, knows that it's only 5 kilometers.
Yeah,
good chance to make it.
Yeah, he has 200 meters of altitude, so of energy to make 5-6 kilometers. So normally it will be okay, but the winds can be a bit strong.
It's can give him some
nervous
time.
Yeah. I call that sometimes it's money time. It's like in basketball. You can feel that it will be not so easy. He's low.
It's low.
Ooh. But perhaps he's pushing. No, he has not a lot of speed. So let's see what Kai is doing.
Look at that. Now it's not losing altitude.
Yeah. He's 100 and...
He's playing with this game of speed versus altitude versus reaching the field.
So now Kai is...
The finish line is this small red, green that you see it in the front.
So altitude on the right part of the screen, you can see 180, 170 meters. It's
the minimum altitude is today.
They have to cross the finish line at 158 meters.
So
yeah, he's really close, but I think he managed really well.
Very well indeed. I am really impressed. A really good job, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we will see, but I think he will be 10 or 20 meters. Okay. Just on.
Yeah.
Well done, Mr.
That's it.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And
you can see the runway. Yeah, you can see the runway now. Okay.
So don't worry, no crash, no drama.
Okay.
Just went back to Christophe Abadi. So where is Christophe now? He has 25 km left to make. And he's at 1,000 meters. So normally he has enough energy to make the task, because he's at 900 meters above the ground. And it's normally, with the type of sailplane he uses, it's enough energy to do the last small task, which the small triangle you can see on the screen. I hope you enjoy the way we made today. Today it's also for us a training day, and I want to thank you another time, Angel, because he's helping me a lot. And we discussed the way we will do tracking the day following this day, and we will do some chat like this, with 1 hour, 130 of live tracking. And we will put some interviews of the pilots, so you will enjoy to better know the pilots, and we will focus on the typical action time in Grand Prix, so the start, turn points, and sometimes when there are 2 different gaggles of sailplanes with different views of the race, and also for the finish, for sure. But it's pretty interesting, and Bruno filled with the weather coming, quite technical, will be also really interesting.
Okay, so we come with you two will be also watching the race tomorrow, See you tomorrow. Have
Yeah.
a good day.
Bye-bye.